Expected goals, the most important statistic in the beautiful game. The metric that rules almost all the decisions players, managers, and even sporting directors make. Yet, there is one big flaw, something that nobody's talking about. XG has been lying to you, and I'm gonna explain exactly how. Before expected goals, we had good old shots. Shots were good. Take more of them, score more goals. Let your opponent have fewer of them, you concede fewer goals. Simple. The problem is, shots aren't specific. There isn't enough context behind them. A 40-yard shot that ends up in rosette is equal to a tap-in from 6 yards out, even though you'd be forgiven for missing a pot shot, but could never show your face for somehow missing a freebie. In comes expected goals. The term was coined by Englishman Sam Green in an assessment of Premier League goal scorers in 2012. Since then, the metric has made its way to the mainstream media as more people gain a greater understanding of the metric and its benefits. Aimed at providing a better sense of how a team is performing regardless of the result, XG is a statistical measurement of the quality of chances and the probability of a shot being scored based on existing data of similar shots. Given that statistical analysis has become as commonplace in football as footballs themselves, the understanding of XG is crucial for any casual fan. XG can be measured either for teams or for individual players to give an indication as to how well they should or are performing in front of goal. This brings us to the first problem with the stat. Just like all other probabilities, XG ranges from 0 to 1, as however tough a chance, there's always a possibility to score, and however easy a chance, there's always a possibility to miss. The data is derived from the research from key moments in the games. Therefore, XG values are generally based on the type of assist, location of the shot, angle, distance, whether it's a header or a shot with the foot, which foot takes the shot, and whether it's a volley or not. For instance, a rebound that falls to a player 6 yards out in front of an open goal will have a higher XG score compared to a 35-yard shot from a narrow angle. Hence, an XG rating of 0.35 means that a shot has a 35% chance of getting scored, while a 0.5 XG chance should be scored 50% of the time. But that's not all. Multiple data providers also use slightly varied calculations across channels. There isn't one universal XG model among the countless sources online, with each of them having a different set of parameters, making their final XG figures varied, as one model may rate a chance at 0.52 XG, while others may have it at 0.47 or 0.58. Despite different data providers ascribing values on the same match and same shots, as little as a 0.5 swing in values adds up to a big effect on teams' final XG figures. But why is XG not a definitive metric? One of the biggest struggles is not what it tells us, but what it doesn't, as the quality of individual players is not usually accounted for. A lack of specific player abilities will see a world-class center forward given the same XG figure for the exact same chance as presented to a defensive player, despite the former being more likely to score. Furthermore, it is impossible to draw conclusions on the attacking quality of a team using XG, because the circumstances leading to some scoring opportunities are totally coincidental and as a result of unforeseen errors. This means that XG is most effective over a certain period of time rather than for a single game to help analyze a team's performance in greater detail. This is the biggest sin people commit when using XG. The circumstances of the game, the time the goals scored, teams being awarded penalties, all of these things impact XG in the short term and therefore make it less reliable as a stat for a single game, much less a portion of a game. It's important to apply context when assessing XG data, and the 6th game of a domestic season is often marked as the point when the data settles into its own. For now, the negative perception around XG seems to stem from the unfounded reasoning among skeptics, despite the clear limitations when it comes to using the metric. Considering the many profound benefits of using XG, it is also very important to acknowledge its deficiencies and therefore interpret the data efficiently. Access to the data requires a full understanding of both the pros and the cons of the potential conclusions you can draw from an analysis. There is no doubt that the revolution of data and analytics is the future of football, and though it has taken some time, all the stakeholders are looking for ways to gain an extra edge through cutting-edge models. This is why several clubs now employ a full department of data analysts comprising over 20 well-trained individuals who have made their way to the top level of the sport, mostly without any prior football knowledge. The numerous flaws show that the expected goals metric is still a work in progress, and massive context is required to get a full picture of quantifying the quality of chances created over a longer period of time.